Devil May Cry has a lot of amazing speedruns. The first Devil May Cry in particular has a vast array of categories that rule sets diverge so much, they often require completely unique skill sets. But with all these excellent choices for different types of speedruns within Devil May Cry, there is one that stands out as the most popular and therefore most optimized of them all. By far the most competitive speedrun for this game is normal any percent. Personally, I always thought the category was cool, but too optimized for me to ever want to compete in it at the highest level. With the reigning king Maxi Lopes consecutively holding the world record for the last 5 years, getting world record in this category seemed like a Herculean feat, one of the likes that I would never be able to accomplish. That being said, over the last 6 months, I've been running the less popular but more physically and mentally demanding Dante Must Die categories and completely dominated them, collecting all 4 of the world records for the difficulty. After doing that though, I thought I was done with Devil May Cry, not really having any interest in any of the normal difficulty categories, even if they were the things that got me into the game in the first place. That's when something crazy happened. Maxi got dethroned, first by Karma by 8 seconds, then by Moody by another 2, and then by Yang by another 15 seconds. It was amazing to see. And in Yang's pop-off, he shouts me out saying I was the one of the reasons that he got into speedrunning in the first place.
Oh my god, that was... Holy shit. I was so sure I was gonna choke it somehow. Like, oh my god. Since this is gonna be world record, I'm gonna do some cheesy shout-outs here. Shout out to Mike Wave and Waifu, I guess, because they're the 2 people that got me into speedrunning.
That was a big moment for me. It brought me to the brink of tears and I knew what I had to do. I was going to take another shot at any percent normal for the first time in over a year and really see what time I could get with all this experience. I knew it would be pretty easy to get a new personal best right off the bat. I had a 37.52 and the world record being a 35.42, I had lots of room to improve. And my time in the Dante Must Die categories was like being in the hyperbolic time chamber. I was so much better at combat, movement, menuing, and anything else you might need to get a good time in this game. But I was unrefined. My raw talent had improved, but I still had to learn the new strategies as well as the minutia for each room that simply is overlooked in the more difficult categories. I had no idea what kind of time I was capable of, but I did one stream just to test the waters, to see what kind of time I was capable of and how much I actually wanted to grind this. I collected my free personal bests and wanted to see just how close I could get to the actual record. On quite literally my very first attempt, I saved almost a whole minute on my year-old personal best. I got a 37.20. My 23 was slow because I missed a holy water. So it's my 2 holy waters on 22 menu. But, oh well. GG. 37.20? What was my PB? Well, now it's 37.20. But it wasn't my best performance, so I immediately jumped into more attempts, and would immediately improve it by another 12 seconds, bringing the time down to a 37.08. I mean, I said a huge time save on the final split, like 15 seconds. 37.08. I knew I could do better, but that run felt really clean. I had about a minute and a half to go for world record, but I had no major mistakes. So where could all this time save come from? This is my main problem with runs that get optimized to this level. For those who don't know what optimized means, it means how close the run is to perfect. The more optimized, the smaller the time saves, and the more perfection is required to improve it. And of all the Devil May Cry speedruns in all 5 games, Devil May Cry 1 normal any percent is by far the most optimized. I combed through my splits to find the time saves, and the largest one I could find was 5 seconds. Mission 5, I got Bad Cat RNG, there's like 10 seconds there. That's the biggest time save I know of. Legitimately, I just need to save about 2 seconds on average in every single section of the game. Often, speedrunners look at their splits to tell them what to practice, and to figure out what they can improve. But when your splits literally say just save 2 seconds on every section, what do you practice? What can you prove besides just play more perfectly? I hate this. I much prefer speedruns like Left 4 Dead 2, where you have much more obvious and large time saves across the board, because it gives you a clear and attainable objective. If I wanted to get a better time in this category though, I would need to overcome this hang-up in my speedrun game, and learn how to push past that last little bit of optimization. What comes along with this level of optimization, unfortunately, is RNG, or random elements. While a category like Dante Must Die any percent has a lot more random elements that lose a lot more time than the ones in any percent normal, it's not nearly as optimized. So realistically, you could lose like 30 seconds in the first mission and still get world record, with high enough level of play that is. But in a category like any percent normal, any random elements going wrong can potentially put you out of contention for world record or even a personal best at the highest level. While normal has less RNG, every single piece of randomness is much more important. The first mission has an abundance of marionette enemies and their health values are random. There are 4 colors of marionette: blue, green, purple, and red. They get increasingly more health in that order. Reds have almost 4 times as much health as blues, but they also get ranges. So the weakest red marionette can have up to 800 health, whereas the strongest can have up to 1500. This means that you can lose in practice upwards of 15 seconds if you get lots of red or high HP marionettes in the basement, and even more upstairs if they have high health rolls. After the first mission, the second mission requires you no damage to get the S rank, which we need to get the money we need for the route. But these scissor fucks can randomly choose to block your sword swings, losing a ton of time if they do it repeatedly. Unfortunate. Not skilled enough, I guess. But they can also just let you annihilate them if you're lucky. Yes. See, this time I was more skilled. So therefore, I saved more time because this is a skill-based run. After that, mission 3 has the first boss fight. And you can completely blow out this thing's boy hole by doing a double jump helm breaker on its butt. But the boss can randomly decide to turn around right at the start of the fight, slow or fast. If he does it fast, the whole fucking fight is fucked. Please don't turn, sir. I said please. Why do you hate me? And the best you could hope for is like a 5-second time loss. At the worst, you get hit, ruining the mission's rank and your money route. If you turn slow, you often mess up the fight. But with my extensive practice on this boss on Dante Must Die, I was ready for this and adapt to the slow pattern really well. And it's easy. After that, mission 4 and 5 both have shadow fights, and you guessed it, the Shadow's health points are also random. The amount of times you have to shoot him is random, and then once he is shot enough, he reveals his core that you have to hit with your sword. This has a separate random health value too. Sometimes you give the cat a firm look and he instantly dies. Other times, you'll shoot him for like 4 or so hours and he will never die. Bro, this game is dog shit. This game's giving me such bad shadow fights, dude. These random elements are small, only losing you about 5 seconds on average each, if you're gonna be only somewhat lucky. But it also adds up really fast in a run this optimized. Each one going wrong immediately puts you 30 seconds behind, making record or personal best legitimately impossible no matter how well you play the rest of the game. I learned this very quickly getting back into the run, as my next 2 hours or so of attempts would die over and over again to these random elements. RNG game. I even played it correctly, but then the camera just fucked me. That's unfortunate. Just die, you fuck. This game is very skill-based. This is the most skill-based game I've ever played in my life. Look at how much skill was involved with this game. He's not even dead! Oh my god, this game is so dog shit. Like, holy fuck. Nice RNG. Fortunately, wasn't skilled enough to make Phantom not turn. With such big improvements though, I knew I could get a really good time. I just needed to find a way past these hangups. Then I thought about trying something I've never done before. What if I compared against the world record on my splits? Because the time saves are small, it's hard to visualize them. But if I literally could see on every split my pace against the world record, that would give me a little bit more insight into the nuances of each specific time save. So that's what I did. I guess I'll do one more comparing against these splits just to see. I'll compare against Yang's. In Live Split, the timer program that speedrunners use, you can compare against many different types of comparisons. Most people usually compare against their personal best, but you can also add custom comparisons. That's where I put the split times for the world record. Now, I could get a personal best even if I was over a minute behind on the splits, but if I was even 1 second ahead, that would mean it's a new world record. I've never done this before, but I figured it was worth a shot. It could help me visualize some of these smaller time saves. I did one run against these splits and I made it to mission 9 only 10 seconds behind. That's when I knew, okay, I could do this. It would be a grind, but I could do that. I decided I would do one whole day of attempts while running against Yang splits to see where I could save time and how far off I really was from the world record. I want to compare against Yang splits. At the end of the day, I would decide if I really wanted to grind for this world record. The early game was super brutal to run against. I could never be ahead of Yang unless I got really good RNG, and Yang's early game was considered the worst part of his run. Maxilobe's early game was about 15 seconds better than Yang, having by far the best early game anyone's ever had. But I couldn't even come close. I was more often than not 10 seconds behind at mission 8 instead of ahead, until I finally caught a break and had my first really good attempt. I got super solid RNG on all of the early game stuff and had some overall great play. It's simple. You want to save 10 seconds on mission 2? Just get lucky. And it left me 1 second ahead of Yang at mission 8. Hey, ahead of Yang out of 8. My first run to get past early game on world record pace. This new comparison method was helping a ton. I was besting every single split multiple times and catching up to Yang's average paces within just a few hours of practice. Tragically, this first epic run would start to die around mission 12. Yang's mission 12 should be slower than mine because of a few strategy changes, but I could not even get close. I would lose 3 to 4 seconds when I should be saving 3 to 4 seconds, and I could just not get that time save. That's a little early. I'm not gonna get the double hit, I don't think. How early can you open the door? Did the orb spawn? Okay, I could have saved like 2 seconds there then. On top of that, in this run, you have to take 0 damage to S rank this mission, and that's super important for the money routing. I got insanely unlucky and got hit by the lightning after Griffin 2 dies, losing me the S and making me have to do some on-the-fly backups. Rip S rank. This would tilt me, ruining my mental game for the rest of the run, and not being prepared to do these backups, they lost a lot more time than they should have. I managed to pull it back together and continue for a personal best, but world record was definitely dead at this point. Oh, I got robbed. I think I'm too close. Ah, this is fucking dog shit. Hit the bird, Dante. Yang's early game wasn't very good, but his mid game sure as fuck was. I would bleed time in these few missions. I'm gonna lose time here because of my fucking shenanigans at the beginning of the mission. I would practice and practice them, but my best ever mission times would be slower than the ones that he got in his world record. This would continue until about mission 20, where I would actually start saving time on Yang. Due to my Dante must die experience and my willingness to use new strategies never before done in this category, I actually would save a significant amount of time. Nearly 5 seconds on mission 21, 22, and 23. It wasn't nearly enough to save this run, but it did give me a bit of hope. If I could just get far enough ahead in early game that I could survive the storm that was mid game, without being too far behind, then I could save that time at the end and make it into a world record. During this run, however, I had a few pretty big mistakes. I forgot to buy a holy water for mission 18, which means I couldn't do the quick kill on Nightmare 2. Fuck, I don't have any holy waters. The run is over. That's sick. I forgot to buy. Losing me a ton of time. Thankfully, I make Nightmare my bitch on the daily in Dante Must Die. Unlucky. Also, I'm griefing. Hello, Dante? So I was prepared with a backup strat, only losing me about 15 seconds. Tilted, I also griefed my movement and Nightmare 3 fight in the next few missions, losing me another 20 seconds. Hello? Dante, come on, dude. Can't you see I'm already behind? Why are you gonna do shit like that? Like, why? Literally standing right next to the dial. How could you possibly even conceive that I'd want to shoot that? I also completely messed up Cosmo Climb on mission 21, but recovered nicely. Oh, what? I hit the button way too fast. I hit it way too fast. I did not mean to hit it right away like that. I don't know what I was doing. Briefing. What I was doing. Overall, this mid and late game were horrendous, but even still, I was on pace for a new personal best, especially after what I would do on Mission 22. Mission 22 is just a 2-phase boss fight with Mundus. The first phase is Kamiya's Wet Dream, a Harrier shoot-'em-up section that everyone but him hates. Funny enough though, the game actually lets you fire as fast as the game can register inputs in this section, and while using a macro to shoot is not allowed on the normal difficulty, if you use 2 separate keys on the keyboard to shoot and mash them while using your left hand to steer on the controller, you can shoot at pretty insane speeds and kill him super fast. This strategy was theorized for about a year or so now, but no one had put it into the practice to actually make it faster. Normally, you would use a bunch of Devil Stars to refill your DT and use dragons to kill him, but this is much more requiring of the economic routing. Optimally, using the items is about 4 seconds slower than having a good Mash Mundus fight, and this change allows you to be able to buy holy waters for mission 23 inside the mission 22 menu, saving time having to skip that menu as well. Overall, optimally, it's about an 8-second time save, but it's much harder than the previous strategy. And to this day, I'm still the only one who's been attempting this in actual speedruns. I finished out the run a minute and 28 seconds behind Yang. I finished in a 37:10, literally 2 seconds slower than my personal best. No PB. I missed it by 2 seconds-ish. But where my PB felt clean and I had no idea where the time saves were, this run was awful. There were time saves everywhere. Just a simple change of comparison can do something so crazy as to make me realize where all of this time save was. After this, I decided, yes, I am definitely going for this grind. It was gonna suck, but this game was really important to me, and beating Maxi and Yang was something I really wanted to do. I also wanted to prove that I am the best Devil May Cry player in every conceivable way. So that's when the real grind began. The next 3 days, I would do 9 hours a day, start with Mash Mundus practice, mission 12 and mission 15. I studied the missions I couldn't understand how Yang did so fast and imitated him, and I started to improve on all of those too. I would do a no reset run just to practice the whole game and then start my real attempts. I had a long way to go, about another minute and a half. But I had some huge time saves coming up. That being said though, that first day was brutal. 8.5 hours into the stream and nothing. The best pace I had gotten was 25 seconds behind Yang at mission 15. Nothing great. And they would all die before mission 17, unable to even get a personal best. Let's play CS, I guess. I got 30 minutes before my game starts, so. I just needed to keep grinding though, because I knew I could do it. And 9.5 hours into that stream, I would. Not an amazing run. 36:25, and I PB by 2 seconds. A pretty huge PB, but there were still some holes in my games that I didn't understand. Like how I always lost 10 seconds on mission 23, when in theory I should be saving time there. Either way, this was a huge improvement. It brought me up from 8th place to 7th, and I bopped Dan. I was 10 seconds away from bopping Dizzy, 17 away from bopping Maxi, and only 40 seconds from record. But that was going to be it for that day of attempts. I rated Maxi and called it a night, but not before asking him for some advice on mission 23. He told me to double check that my right analog stick was being held down during the flight, with the plane at the end, because it saves exactly 10 seconds on mission 23. I knew this of course and had done that, but I just double checked it just to be sure. And it turns out I was holding the stick down, but it was for sure not giving me the extra speed. This is because for Dante Must Die categories, you could use a macro to shoot fast for you, and I had mine bound to right stick down. Except for I unbound this to get a faster plane speed in normal. It just didn't actually work. So armed with this new knowledge, I fixed my binds, double checked it, and was ready for the next day of runs. My biggest concern at the moment was mission 23, and once that was cleared up, I knew I had record in my sights. Literally the first run the next day, I would get an insane early game pace. I would take this run all the way to the end. I had a particularly bad mission 12. That's too early for the double hit, fuck. Oh my god, that was such a big time loss. It's fine though. But would fight to make that time back into the end game. I even managed to finally save time on Yang's mission 17, a feat that seemed impossible to me. I actually saved time on Yang there somehow. Unfortunately though, I was not able to buy a holy water that I needed for mission 19 by literally 5 orbs. Wait, I only bought 2 holy waters there. That means I have to menu on 19 again. Why? How do I not have enough money for this 3rd holy water? This is pure randomness when it comes to enemy orb drops. So I got so unlucky that missing those orbs stopped me from skipping a menu on 19, costing me almost 10 seconds and tilting me into oblivion. I'm literally fucking 5 orbs short. You're kidding me? That's so cringe. Because of this, I would bleed another 20 seconds and be only barely ahead of my PB, but the plane speed would come in clutch, bopping Dizzy and getting 6th place with a 36:14. Well, that run was dog shit. So damn close, not even remotely close. I was 32 seconds away. Not bad for the first run of the day, but it would get much better than that. I was on fire this day. Amazing early game RNG followed by a superb mid game and late game. Only 2 hours later, I would get this run. 4.5 seconds ahead in mission 1, then maintaining the lead into mission 3, and saving even more time getting my best ever mission 3. Wow, what a goal, holy fuck. A whole 7.6 seconds ahead of the world record going into the 4th mission. I just need the cats to not completely kill my run, and I could get something very special going. The first cat almost trolls me and only loses me a few seconds, which at this point I was pretty used to. Thank God. That looked like it was going to be really bad for a second. The second cat rolled over and let me pet him immediately, and thus major random elements had been dealt with. All right, come on, cat. You're the last one. Thank God. And I was 6 seconds ahead after mission 5. I got trolled by the bugs on mission 7 for what felt like 4 years, but it was only 4 seconds in real life. Damn it. Damn it. Ruining what would otherwise be a perfect early game, but it was still really good. That would be fine though. I just needed to maintain this lead past mission 9. If I did that, I had a solid chance. I proceeded to save another 3 seconds on mission 8, bringing it to 8.43 ahead, my best pace ever up to this point. Best pace ever. Don't get attached. This pace was no match for Yang's mission 9 though, which I usually lost like 9+ seconds to. Somehow I managed to maintain a lead here of 3.5 seconds. Only lost 4, not bad. Like always, I got trolled super hard on mission 12 and had to chase this fucking fuck for like 5 seconds, putting me behind Yang by about 2. That double hits, 100%. There's no way it doesn't. It doesn't. Oh, runs over. Runs over! Love this game, so good. Really good. There goes 10 seconds. Feels good, man. This is fine though. If I could just survive past mission 17 without more than 5 in the red, I could definitely get world record on this run. My late game was the best ever after all. After a huge uphill battle, I was actually ahead going into mission 16. Great 16. Good 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Easy record. Simple. But only by 0.19 seconds. Barely anything. That was fine though. I could save huge in late game if I could just keep holding on. Then I did the impossible and saved time on mission 17. Only 0.05 seconds, but that's a huge dub in my book. I also didn't get memed by the orb drops and could actually afford all the holy waters I need for mission 19. But only barely. I had 5 orbs left over after doing the shopping. I could buy just like fucking like 5 orbs, unironically. I barely had enough money. Due to some small movement mistakes, I lost my lead and was 2 seconds behind going into mission 19. But that was all I needed. If I had just a stellar late game like I always did, I could close this out. I gold mission 20 and am basically tied with Yang going into 21. No more mistakes now. I get an absolutely bonkers mission 21, golding by like 4 seconds, putting me 6 ahead. All right, here we go. Great first nobody, nice. Bad that second nobody, I'm skipping this one. Mundus, I swear to God. Now all that's left is match Mundus. I get super unlucky and have to dodge 2 attacks in the lava in the second phase. If either of them had hit me, it was game over. This dodging lost me like 5 seconds as well, almost losing me my entire lead. Time loss. 5 seconds ahead in the final mission. All I have to do is close it out clean. On the final plane ride, I'm holding down to go fast and adjust my hands to dodge some pillars, but then my hand slips. And I have to do a weird double claw where my controller's falling out of my hands. I'm trying to make it out of this fucking plane section. It's gonna be really close. The clock is ticking down and I'm losing time, but I just have to make it to the end of this white screen. Jackpot. Oh my God. Oh, I almost threw on the fucking plane. Woo! Fuck this game. I'm the best. Fucking go, dude. Oh, it could have been better, but I don't give a fuck. This grind was crazy. It was only 3 days, but this is by far the hardest record I've ever gotten in a while. It meant the world to me having someone I got into speedrunning beat a world record I didn't think I was myself capable of beating. That motivated me so much to do the same. Just goes to show that you can do whatever you set your mind to. I'm very proud of myself for tackling this type of speedrun. I thought I would never be good at it. I still prefer runs with more obvious big time saves and a higher skill ceiling, but it's nice to know that if I dedicate myself to it, I can compete in these more optimized categories as well. And with every Dante Must Die record and the most difficult normal one under my belt, I set my sights on being the first person ever to clean sweep the entire DMC1 leaderboards. But that is a story for another video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If you want to watch the full run here is the link to my archive channel where you can find it. I also stream on that channel most days. Stay stylish and thanks for watching.